They're going to be drilled into the Arbuckle, maybe all the way through the Arbuckle, I can't remember. And it was just for, I think Ms. Tucker said that they were for the collection of data. They wouldn't be cased wells, they wouldn't be cased holes. They were going to be some coring, maybe, possibly. Nothing would be injected into or extracted from. I asked about the status of the well after all the study's done. Will it be plugged or left open? And I think all that was kind of in the air. Could you answer that?
Sure. First of all, let's answer the definition of class 5 is a well that's going to inject anything that's non-hazardous. So these aren't class 5 wells because they're not going to be injection.
Okay.
There are some states and some regulatory agencies that use class 5 as a quote experimental well. I really think that's a very poor definition, to be honest. So unfortunately that was discussed. These are going to be drilled under the BIA as oil and gas. You can call them exploratory wells if you want to call them. You can call them producers. You can call them strat test wells if you want to call it that. But they are regular oil and gas wells. Okay,
so some of these are off the North Burbank blanket lease.
Correct.
And the BIA, you're recognizing that the BIA will be the permitting agency for these wells. Usually the BIA doesn't approve a permit without a lease. So are you using the surface lease as the lease for the BIA's approval?
No.
How is the Bureau of Indian Affairs going to approve a permit to drill a well without a lease?
I don't think they are. I think based on what we've learned over the last, whatever it was, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, is we will probably have to come back and anything that we don't have a lease today for, we will have to request a lease.
Like injection into our pore space?
Not injection, no. It'll just be a lease to drill.
A lease to drill for oil and gas, for hydrocarbons?
Yes, that's the way we intend.
And that's what it'd be used for?
Huh?
So you're actually permitting wells to produce hydrocarbons?
If you want to call it that, yes, it will be permitted by the DIA to drill a well. You know, now, honestly, where we're drilling, we think we're drilling a dry hole. Is there a possibility that we find hydrocarbons? Possibly. That's why we have to have another lease.
Oh, so you'll be wanting to negotiate an oil and gas lease with the mineral council?
Correct, I think we have to. Yes.
Raleigh, can you wrap us up? Is there any other real concern other than this one?
No, those were the two that came up, and appreciate discussion on those. I think, well, it would be, I don't know sort of what your deadline is to get this done. It would be nice to see sort of the additional language around, you know, ownership of the data or the analysis produced by the third-party contractor. I think that would help reassure the council. And then as to what sorts of legal work or leases might be done in relation to pore space, if it's possible to clear that up in the application, I think the council will be interested in seeing what that looks like and would need to take that under further consideration from what I understand.
I would like to see that. And the only other consideration is we did respond to the actual seismic element. In any cases where we've done that, we have kept that confidential in certain areas, and all it is that we keep it confidentially with you. And then it's taken to Bureau of Mines, federal government, and after a certain time, we release it. But I think that could all be worked out because it's on your leasing.
Teresa?
Yes, sir.
If one possibility on both questions, I think we can work those out. Excellent. And we could work the language out. Because we're on a timeline, if the council might consider approving authorization of it pending legal review, then we don't have to worry about coming back because I think our timeline is pretty short now.
Yeah, the application is due March 20th. So that's the timeline.
If you wanted us to work through as legal counsel those issues that were raised, I think if there's no fundamental difference, that we can just work that out.
just said.
Chairman, I have another question.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you. From what I understand in talking with other geoscientists, they're under the belief that in order to give some confidence that CO2 would be contained in a certain area, that it would be very useful to utilize the 3D technology, 3D seismic, to evaluate the area with 3D seismic. We know that there's some out there. I think your application mentions that you'll be using geological data and maybe even seismic data that's available, that you'll be studying that. But will your grant be used to do additional seismic studies, particularly in the area, to help identify the suitability to contain CO2?
Well, the answer is yes, we are going to shoot, I think it says 21 or 22 miles of 2D data.
Yes.
We don't plan on shooting 3D data as part of this study. There is some 3D, like you said, in and around the area. We have acquired rights to one of those, so we are looking at that. But I really think the purpose of 3D is not to determine whether or not the confining zone is there or not. I mean, you can say whether it's there. It's not going to take what has the permeability to allow CO2 to migrate through. Is it going to be a confining zone? The only way we can get that data is for these wells.
Well, I'm a little concerned about fractures, faulting and fractures.
So faulting seismic would see for sure. There's quite a bit of data out here, so we will see that on the data we shoot. We'll see that on the 3D data that we have, or we don't have yet. We acquired the interest to it. We're making on that data. So yeah, all of that will be checked out. Really, where 3D is really used in carbon sequestration is, a lot of people really like it for determining where that plume is. So as we inject the CO2 underground, we have to be able to track where that CO2 is going. Whether it's out horizontally, hopefully that's the only place it's going. And we'll see it going vertically if it goes vertically.
Yeah, but the whole point of the seismic study is to try to figure that out beforehand, if it's suitable, instead of after the fact. It's one thing to see it and say, oops, well, you know, we've got it reaching the surface here or into our fresh water there. But I would think that it would be prudent to do some of this 2 and 3D seismic in advance of injection.
We are shooting 2D. There is some 3D available. And you are absolutely correct. It will identify faults. No question.
I can't give them that.
No question about that.
But if you'll take care of it, we'll get it right to it. We have the letter ready to go, except for that one concern. Thank you, counsel. But I'd still like to have Mr. Wilson meet with Wilson, their attorney. And I happen to know them both well, and let's give them some confidence to help us on that one hitch. Even in the letter we had prepared, it says that we were asking your recognition of that space. If you'll clarify that for us to help them get to this timeline. Counsel, we've all.
No, I don't understand what you're saying.
Raleigh's going to work it out with them.
No, I'm not willing to leave it in the hands of our legal counsel.
Well, it's not. He has to come back to you.
Well, he can do a fact-finding mission for us and continue to ask the questions and report back to us the answers to the questions, but I don't want him making any decisions for us.
No, he's not.
So to answer or to respond to Mr. Pipestem's suggestion to approve it now and work out the details later, that's not
I just
something
said
we're
no.
going to do.
We can't do that.
Okay, well, so I didn't hear that. So we're just authorizing the Patterson law firm to continue the fact-finding that we've done up to date and just to continue. Is that what we're doing?
Yes, sir.
And nothing more?
Nothing more.
Okay. Well, go for it.
I'm sorry.
We'll hear from Raleigh, and then I'll close the second chair.
Another way to say that, Councilman, is we just got the application on Tuesday. I realized they hurried up, got just as we can, and we've got some issues to work out.
We have some questions to be answered,
Exactly.
and we'll probably think of some more, because we haven't even got to read the thing yet. I mean, we just got it Wednesday, I think. I haven't read it yet.
Tuesday. Those were my concerns,
Well,
and the councils, we just talked about it.
me,
Yes, sir. Second chair, and then I'll go.
No, I'm agreeing with Paul. We don't, he needs to find out what he can find out. And how soon, Raleigh, can you report back to us what you find? Because the time is up, the essence, I think the 20th.
I'm glad to sit down with you later today.
The 20th is the
Let's
day.
get it started.
20th is the day of
We
our
could
council
probably,
meeting.
one possibility.
20th is the day of our council
Yeah.
meeting.
And I don't know if the application's due at 5 o'clock or noon or what day on the 20th, but it's gonna be pretty hard.
Well, I sit on the National DOE Committee for the United States. I bet I can make a call.
That's
at a
why I'm
time.
asking, how much time is he gonna have to find out what he needs to find out?
Yes, sir. Thank you. With that, thank you, sir. We're just not going to give you that option at this time. We will work with you two to come out. I understand the council concern, but I also understand your concern on this. Do the best you can to get it to us as quick as possible. Thank you.
Chairman, if I could ask, I think we could probably work something out pretty quickly based on the concerns that were raised. And if you got proposed language, if that can happen quickly, we need to come back for a full council meeting to get approval, or can we do it by
I
poll?
went to court over that, brother. I can't give you what you want. I
I
can call a
would want to
special
sit
meeting.
down with our attorney
Yeah.
and spend a reasonable amount of time to discuss it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, exactly. We'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Next meeting is when? Thank you.
20th. If it were something that was,
Chairman.
if it came out really good for us as a council, I'd call a special meeting.
Chairman, I got a question on the
Yes.
agenda.
Yes.
Kind of went to this.
Yes, we need to go right back to the 214.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you for everything. Thank you for your time. Sir, I'm gonna move on down the agenda to the next item. Council, is that okay with you? With that, I'd like to move on down to the 6A. Larry Stewart has a request for the 214. Mr. Stewart available? Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Stewart,
Yes.
they're having issues with technical issues that will be recorded and then put up on the thing. Mr. Stewart is not here, but he's the one that came to us last time. You guys told him to go forth and proceed. He needs a resolution for 214.
Instead of just a letter?
Right, he needs a lease. He's the one that wanted it. What word am I looking for?
No, you're right. I'm sorry. I've really been hooked up on this other.
The rock board, yeah, he was.
This is the Stewart Stone 214.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
it incorporates the land section 192210, consists of 40 acres in the southeast and northwest, of 40 acres in the northeast southwest, 160 acres in the southeast, 20 acres in the north half of the southwest and the northeast, 10 acres in the south half of the south half of the southwest quarter of the northeast, 4 and 5 acres in the west half, north half, south half of the southwest quarter, 4, and the northeast quarter, 4, and 5 acres in the east half and north half of the south half of the southwest, 4, northeast of 4, a total of 280 acres. And this is for Stewart Stone Incorporated.
Is that for a gravel?
To open up that quarry, he needs a resolution to allow him to apply for the 214 from us.
Is that a motion?
Yes, sir. I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
I need a second. I have a motion on the floor. Second chair ready to go. Seconded by Councilman Rivard. Discussion?
Where, they're not here today?
They were here the last meeting.
They were here the last meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. And where is this at?
This is on the old Trumbull property out there in the middle of,
Well,
next to Perrier Ranch.
Is it on Highway 20?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's right there next to the Trumbull house, where that, you come off that hill, it's to the right of it, it's the old quarry, it's an old
Okay.
quarry site.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Any discussion? I'd like to call for the question.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
yes.
Councilman Rebar.
Yes.
Councilman Shackelford,
Yes.
Chairman Waller,
Yes.
Councilman Big Horse,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, and with that, you will do the application for his 214, and that follows all the requirements of 214-.14. With that, I'd like to move on down to the item of the helium lease. Mr. Heiner, thank you for your patience. Is he available now behind me? Michael, sir, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been trying to move forward on the helium lease for quite some time. And when we came to the council over a year ago for the first resolution, that was with sponsorship from Ironhawk Energy. And over this period of time, Ironhawk discovered that they could not support the activity. And in consultations with them, they've agreed that they would like to release their responsibility and allow my colleagues and I at TGFM Energy to acquire that lease and go forward with its evaluation. To do that, Mr. Wickstrom at Ironhawk Energy submitted a letter to the BIA supporting my request to have the lease moved over to us. And when I contacted Ms. Cami Kennedy just recently, she said I should go ahead and proceed to the council to request a new resolution to assign the lease to TGFM. To that end, I submitted a letter last evening. I hope everybody received it in time. But what I'm requesting is a standard oil and gas lease for the northeast quarter section of section 12, section 27 north, range 6 east. This is the quarter section over the Osage deep test, and that is the well that has been identified as having possible helium volumes that could be produced. The terms of the lease are standard 20% royalty in a 3-year term, and as I said before, as an oil and gas lease. We would also like to request access to data and records held by DEMD and the BIA, which would include maps, seismic volumes, reports, and other historical information. And the last thing that we request is an easement for a saltwater disposal well, so that as we bring on production, if we are successful, to have a way to take care of the water. Any questions?
Yes, is the saltwater disposal well available now, or are you gonna drill one on your lease?
We're hoping that there are 2 saltwater disposal wells that are listed off to the
Is that the
east,
one we discussed?
and we will have to follow through to those to find out if they're still accessible. If
Yes.
not, then we'd be required to drill a disposal well.
Let me ask you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman.
Councilman Reddy.
Yeah, Mr. Heiner, thank you very much. The wells, the chairman's wanting to know, the easement that you're talking about, is that well situated on the northeast quarter of 12-27-6?
The deep test is in northeast corner of 12. The 2 saltwater disposal wells are actually in the next township over.
Okay.
That's fine.
That's what I was trying to get at. We would, and you don't know for certain which ones that you would want of those 2, or maybe possibly both of them?
Well, it would be, I need to know for sure whether they're available.
He can come back to
Yeah,
us and
well,
get
that's something that I think the Bureau of Indian Affairs can tell you.
It's called the Shaw Saltwater Disposal Well.
Yes, I know them.
Okay, so that would be a different subject. I didn't hear you say what the bonus amount was, the dollar amount for the proposed lease. you said the 20% rolled in 3 years. I'm not sure you recited what the dollar amount was.
Standard lease term. I think it's the standard amount, which is $25 or $26 per acre.
4,700, I think, is that right?
Minimum,
Less than accept.
4750.
that's what I just said.
4750, less, for an oil and gas combination, less than accept coal bed methane.
That is correct. Thank you.
Okay.
Councilman Redcorn, that was the question. Can we call for the question? Council, you ready? I'm ready to support it. And he has to come back to us for the easement anyway on the saltwater disposal. Call for the question.
Do we have a motion?
I need a motion at this time to accept this nomination of the Northeast 27276 to JFM, 4750, 20% royalty, 3-year standard term period. So moved. I have a motion and second. I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Shackelford, second by Second Chair Red Eagle. We've discussion. Call for the question, please.
Councilman Rebar,
Yes.
Councilman Shackelford,
Yes.
Chairman Waller,
Yes.
Councilman Big Horse,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And thank you, Mr. Heiner. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I look forward.
We're going to visit with you. Keep us updated.
I'm very excited to go forward.
Excellent. And are you the majority owner of TJFM?
Yes, we are a partner, and I am the managing partner.
Thank you. That's all I wanted for the record. Thank you so much. With that, council, I can move down to the 7 meeting minutes. I'd entertain a motion at this time to accept them.
So moved.
I need a second. I have a second. Motion on the floor, a second. Chair ready to go, seconded by Councilman Redcorn. Call for the question, please.
Councilman Shackelford,
Yes.
Chairman Waller,
Yes.
Councilman Big Horse,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Rebar.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn. Seeing motion by Councilman Shackelford, second by Second Chair Red Eagle. Call for the question, please.
Chairman Waller,
Yes.
Councilman Big Horse,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle.
Thank you, council. We're adjourned.
Thank you, Bob.
On Hollywood.